Tokeshi as okay. So the title is already introduced. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the 40th anniversary of Okinawa JALT. Yeah, that's why I have this here, not for the Olympics. Okay. Okay, this is the overview of my presentation. If time allows, if time allows, I'd like to spend a little bit time for the research in progress about the new textbook. So my presentation is mostly cited from these two previous study, which already is published. So if you're interested, you can refer to those two citations. So background. First of all, as you may know, the situation in East Asia, public elementary English education started in South Korea 1997, and China 2001, and Taiwan as well 2001. But in Japan, start of the public elementary education, English education started delayed. First, it started officially in 2011, but this is English class without assessment, so-called foreign language learning, Gaigoku gakushu. But last year, it had a kind of tremendous progress. English education, elementary English education started as a class with assessment, formal class. So that means specifically third grade, fourth grade, English education started from third grade. And third grade, fourth grade, it's called foreign language learning. And a time period is 1 period per week. And fifth and sixth grades, it's called foreign language, which has evaluation. So it's conducted 2 periods per week. So hours of class time has increased from 70 hours to 210 hours. So amount of class time, so actually became 3 times. This is a tremendous change. And also because this study focused on the textbook analysis, I want to quickly overview the public elementary textbook authorized by Ministry of Education. First, you may be familiar with these textbook. First, before the 2011, English note for 5th and 6th grade was used. And after that, High Friends. It was used until recently for 5th and 6th grade were used. And the year 2018 to 2019 is a transition period to start the formal English, elementary English education. So Ministry of Education published 2 textbooks for kind of trial. That is, not let's try, sorry. Let's try for 3rd and 4th grade, and Weekend 1 and Weekend 2 for 5th grade. So this study will focus on the analysis of the Weekend 1 and Weekend 2. And from the year to 2020, 14 textbooks by 7 publishing companies for 5th and 6th grades were published and distributed and selected by each school district. Okay, so underpinning theory of my research, my study, this theory and research, I think that Tom Linson's research about the material evaluation in evaluation is quite helpful. He proposed 5 criteria for materials development evaluation. First one, exposure to the language in use. Mostly focus on listening input. That is a comprehensible language, rich language, meaningful language, authentic language, recycled language. So this study mostly focused on this first principle. Next one is affective engagement. That is novel language, curious language, surprising, give surprise, like in storytelling. Okay? And third one, cognitive engagement. So language should be appropriate to the children's maturation and age. Fourth principle, pay attention to form, with or after focusing on meaning. That is focus on form. So yeah, probably you know the recast is a popular technique for this principle. And number 5, a plentiful opportunity to use the language for communication. Okay. And another research basis for my theory basis on my study is okay. This number question B. Acquisition requires over 60 types of language exposure according to Nation. So Nation is, as you know, the reading vocabulary researcher. He insisted that when language vocabulary is inquired, learners should be exposed to over 60 times to the target vocabulary. But I use this concept for the acquisition of sentence pattern. And C, language learning should proceed in a spiral, not like a ladder, as you know, not like, rather step by step, but the language should be repeated. Okay, so I use this principle. And also, I use the D, CEFR-J, CEFR, a grammar profile to correct some grammar sentence pattern. And my research also based on early childhood morpheme acquisition. Morpheme is like past form ed or ing, progressive, present progressive. So based on this theory, my study aims to examine sentence patterns and topics identified weekend 1 and weekend 2. So research question, question 1. What is the relationship between target sentence patterns identified weekend 1, weekend 2, and those identified early childhood research as well as CEFR-J grammar profile? Research question 2. To what degree do target sentence patterns identified in weekend 1 and weekend 2 appear in order to be exposed to sufficient input? Research question 3, to what degree do target sentence patterns identified in weekend 1 and weekend 2 appear in a spiral across unit in order to be exposed to sufficient input? Research question 4, target sentence patterns identified weekend 1 and weekend 2 designed to use in natural situation or context? Okay. So this is the data I collected. I used the weekend 1 teacher's manual and weekend 2 teacher's manual. Okay. So from using these teacher's manual, listening script were analyzed from the activity, let's listen, let's watch and think, let's chant, small talk. Actually, I should include like output activity, but output activity is hard to collect, so I didn't count it. So procedure, sentence patterns in the sample were counted in accordance with the sentence or sentence structure indicated in the elementary new course of study, by next. So this is the kind of this is the example of analysis. For example, this is weekend to 6th grade, unit 5. For example, I enjoyed fishing. This is activity. How many this sentence pattern were identified? Okay, so this is a part of the analysis chart. And result. First, the relationship between weekend and early childhood research or CEFR-J Grammar Profile were examined. So according to this research result, 5 sentence patterns below were not identified. Interestingly, in the weekend 1 and weekend 2, present progress like be verb ing were not found. And regular past verb like ed were not found. But enjoyed are found a lot. But interestingly, irregular past verb like went, ate, saw are found in the textbook. And third singular present, like she likes, are not found at all. And this is also interesting. Possessive s, like Tom's, this is not also found in the 5th grade, 6th grade textbook. And I don't know why this one, we are not found in the textbook analysis. And result 2, this is the number of sentence pattern. Both weekend 1 and weekend 2, 35 sentence patterns were identified. And totally 1,301 sample. And 42.9% of sentence pattern appear more than 16 times. So that is, this percentage of sentence patterns are enough to be acquired according to the nation's idea. The weekend 1, these are the example, the detailed result. I'll skip this, okay? And this is a list of the sentence patterns identified. For example, this is most frequently identified. I like apples, like, okay? So in the weekend, 75 sample, and weekend 2, 108 sample were identified. So it goes on, okay, like this. So each sentence patterns were calculated. And result 3. So the relationship between the sentence patterns and topics. Topics are actually divided into 4 categories, and close relationship between topic and relevant sentence patterns were found. That means topics are really is related to the sentence pattern used in that topic. So those are the categories name of the sentence patterns. For example, memory and dream of children, and self and others, own familiar life, and Japan and other countries. Okay. And this is actually the topic and the sentence, target sentence pattern. Okay. For example, unit 2, weekend 1, unit 2, school event, birthday. This is my translation. Actually, it's written in Japanese. When is your birthday? So this is a target sentence. So this sentence pattern is practiced a lot, and then students, children are familiarized with this sentence pattern, and will be able to use later on. Okay, and especially I found the strong connection between the student's life, familiar life, and the sentence pattern. For example, this is 6th grade, Unit 5, memory of summer vacation. Students have a lot of memory during summer vacation. So students express practice the expression related to the summer vacation, like I went to blah, blah, blah. I ate blah, blah, blah. I saw blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it's quite, I think, connected. And Unit 5, life and memory of elementary school. So students review the elementary school, and then they kind of practice. My favorite event is blah, blah, blah. I enjoyed blah, blah, blah. Okay. And Unit 9, life and club activity in junior high school. For example, I want to join a brass band, or I want to join a soccer team. Okay, so they tell their dreams for the junior high school. Okay. And result 4, 9 sentence patterns were identified across the unit. Okay, so especially these 4 sentence patterns. This is order of high frequency. I like apples. What sport do you like? This is a most frequently observed sentence pattern. Or like self-introduction sentence expression. Hello, I'm nice to meet you. And the 3rd one, are you, she can swim, so can. And the 4th one, I want to blah blah. I omitted the go to, because go to is categorized in another section. So this is the chart table of the sentence pattern which appeared across the unit. For example, I mentioned that I like is most frequently observed. So I like sentence pattern observed Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 5, Unit 4, and Unit 9 and Unit 9. So not too intensively in one unit. And this is a 6th grade weekend 2. For example, I like playing, so it's observed, identified Unit 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. So those are repeatedly run in a spiral way, this cycle. So I'm a little bit now interested in the analysis of the new elementary textbook. These are the 7 textbooks published by, these are the 14 textbooks published by 7 publishing companies. Each school district can choose. Okay, so according to this is a kind of the relationship between the weekend series and new textbook, and it shows, for example, 5-2. It's same correspondent. Okay, 5-2. This is interesting. Okay, 5-6. 5-6 is here in the 5th grade, but it's run in the 6th grade here because this title is I want to go to Italy. I want to go to foreign country, but actually the students learn about foreign country in the 6th grade, not to 5th grade. So children need to talk about the things which they don't learn in social study. So those textbooks actually moved the topic relevant to the social study. Okay.
Time
Because,
remaining 10 minutes.
okay. So this is a proportion of the speaking and writing language. About 80% of spoken language could be found in these new textbook. And this is about food change, okay? It's a New Horizon Elementary 6. So I want to hear your opinion, okay? Because children learn the food chain. And also, students learn how to present, like not only the focusing on the target sentence, start with the hello everyone, and next topic, and the closing. So that means they learn the discourse. And also they learn the communication strategy. Okay, and it goes to the familiar topics. Beef is from which country or which area. And students also need to learn the balance of the nutrition related to the homemaking class. And in the end, students are supposed to present about their original curry. This is a project based on the activity, which is quite seem interesting. Okay, I will end my, okay, this is the main reference, okay. So I want to discuss the new textbook, or if you have question about my previous research result, I'm happy to answer and exchange opinions.
Thank you. Do we have any, would you like to stop your share screen?
Oh, okay.
And if there are any questions, can you go down to the reactions and raise your hand? Yes, Don.
Hi, thank you, Professor Tokeshi. I'm really interested in this because elementary school English is the foundation of our work in universities. The thing that surprised me was the point that Tomlinson made about surprise in textbooks.
Mm.
I think that's a wonderful thing, you know, a narrative, a book, a storybook that has surprise is what we love to read. Did you look into this question, the element of surprise in these textbooks?
You mean the new textbook?
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good question. Topics, you know, discussed, dealt in the used in those new textbooks, quite interesting. And then probably students can do some internet research and then make a presentation. But I didn't find any good story material,
Yeah.
which gives the, you know, fun or the surprise,
Yeah.
that is shame.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought, you know, humor, surprise, those kind of elements are something we should strive for in our textbooks.
Yeah, good story materials are not found in the new textbooks.
I see.
Yeah.
Are there any more questions? Don, can you put your hand down, please?
Okay.
if not, I have a question. Or a comment actually. I think it would be interesting to send your results to the textbook publishers and to the Ministry of Education. Seriously, not as a joke, but they should know that this is what is happening in their textbooks, and maybe they'll have an answer for you.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very, yeah, I have to consider that. I'm working on the analysis of the new textbook and about to complete. So after that, I will maybe send my question to the Ministry of Education or publishers.
Very good. Norman Fuel has a question in chat. Would you like to say it? Norman has no microphone. So he says, is there any evidence that sentence patterns that are less frequently recycled are found to be more frequently problematic for students in standardized exams later on?
You know, I don't think that that's a student's problem. It's a teacher's problem. For example, the third singular present, that is hard to explain. So teachers just think that the students cannot learn the third singular, but I don't think they need teacher need explicit grammar explanation, and also the possessive s is avoided. It's because of the grammar complexity. I think that's teacher's perception about the difficulty or avoidance of particular sentence. I don't think it's a student's problem.
Thank you. Are there any more comments? Don Hinkleman has asked if you could put your email address in the chat, if you would be willing to be contacted. And if not, you may want to then just send it to Mr. Hinkleman privately, where you can choose under chat, who do you send it to? Don Hinkleman's requested your email address.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate
And
it.
in addition, Don Hinkleman has added his email address too in the chat, if you would like to copy that.
I sent out my email address.
Yes, but also his email address.
Yeah, I got.
Very good.
I got his email address.
Very good. This is an extremely important topic because, as Don said, this is the basis of the students who come into the university. And I'm worried that the elementary schools will, which I think are the best aspect of the Japanese education system. My daughter has gone through the elementary school and I've been extremely impressed. I'm afraid that the elementary school will follow the path of junior high schools and high schools in the way that English is taught. And I would hope that they would create their own path based on their own educational philosophy of their schools, that is a more experiential approach towards education.
Yeah.
Don has a question.
Added a question about that. I think experiential learning, how is that being done? I'm curious.
It's more like students are supposed to do the project in class, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then there is no contact with the outside classroom. I mean, like foreigners. So most it's project based, which will be presented in class.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor Tokeshi. Unfortunately, we're out of time. If you would like, I'm going to stop the recording now.